Oh, good morning. We're here again. This is my Thursday, my open time, my time to tell a story, well, whatever story God puts on my heart to tell. And we're going to go to an interesting place because a lot of people live in apartments and they go, I don't have an attic. Well, yeah, you do. We have a spiritual attic. It's where we keep all that stuff that we go, I'll just stuff it there. Because we don't have a clue what to do with it. Yeah, feelings we have, things that occur in our life that we go scratch, 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 scratch. Okay, attic. That definitely goes in the attic. Let's forget it. That's just well, but I can't forget it. But I'll put it up there, and hopefully at some point I'll get a solution. But I don't know if I ever will. Yeah, that place. You know it. It's got all those things. All the weird stuff that happened. The thing that your friend did that you couldn't believe. Well, maybe that wasn't. Well, we'll go there eventually, right? Invite Jesus into that place. So, inviting Jesus into your attic. Visualization, eh, however you wish to do it. I've invited him in. He's rumbling around down there, and I'm working with him. And we're looking at all those things, bits, pieces of life, going, oh, all right, well, that could be explained in that fashion. Wouldn't it be nice to have some of those explained? Hmm. We'll leave it there. Well, if you need to get a hold of me until I get to a place that I get some information to somebody so that they can make the cards so that I can stuff them up there. I'm nearly there. Just a couple more pieces of information. Feel like a really good day today. Some really extensive university work to do, but feels like a good day. So if you want to get a hold of this person that's speaking to you right here, that's easy. It's Eric at, and then start healing, because that's what we want to do. Me, of course. You just reach out, send me a link. No, I will send you a link. Okay, one day I'll get that in the right directional. Anyway, you send me an email, I send you a link. There, that's good. The human nature is human. And I'll also send you that New Year's legacy if you're interested. Just put New Year's legacy, anything on that subject line that goes, wishing to talk. Send link, whatever wonderful nature you require to put down there. And I'll send you both. And we can find a place. Well, you will book an appointment. We will find time to talk. I look forward to those times. Now, where are we? Well, we, of course, require likes. That's how the system works. And subscribers, those are always nice. And you can share it if you really wish to. I don't mind. I'm just a storyteller, powered, present by the one that saved me. You call him Yeshua on earth when he walked it. Call him Jesus and sometimes Jesus Christ. He was of Nazareth, born in Bethlehem, died on a cross, rose again, raised into heaven to intercede for us as our high priest. So many other beautiful things. He owns me. I don't mind being owned by a kind master, the King of all kings, Lord of all lords. It's amazing. I know. It's my Thursday. I'm drifting. I soon got to snap to attention. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, where are we going to go today? How about slippers and threads? I haven't looked at even that story for a long time. But it's been my life. It really has. Knowing there was more, haven't got there. Knew God had more for me. Yeah, didn't get there either. Starting to get there now. Well, at least feels like it. But slivers and threads. Well, it's an interesting story. Well, let's tell it. It's not mine. Is it real? Is it fantasy? That's up to you. You figure it out. I just know it is a story. And to me, yes, it is real. Well, skip the nature of names because it doesn't really help us much. Call her whatever you wish. Her real name will stay sacredly locked within me. And her story begins in a old cabin that she found after her world exploded. She was only 12 at the time. There were people that wished to get a hold of her for very nefarious reasons, and she knew it. She was told to run. Her parents, well, the ones that she knew as parents, told her that morning, they said, "We will not survive till night. Go." And her parents had always been good to her. She hadn't had a hard life, really. But she couldn't remember much back before 7. But from 7 to 12, she'd had a good life. Well, that was one of those slivers and threads. These people were good people, but there were people coming, and she was heading off the back of their farm as fast as her feet could go. Her dog, if you could call it that, it was kind of a little mongrel, didn't look like much, really, was right on her heels. Parents had packed food, fire kit, which they had taught her how to use, and had told her that up in the mountains, far up, that's where she needed to go. She would find an old cabin that had been built by their great great grandparents. It was special. Couldn't be found easily unless it was meant to be found. It was always kept up, just nobody knew exactly how. But the grandfather even might have said he didn't build it, but he found it, just like you will. So she's running for the hills, and there is definitely things going on. There are vehicles, SUVs, black, always black. The oppression of something seeking, something looking for, something terrifying. But she had already hit the trees and was doing exactly what her father had taught her, and she tied some pine bush, she called it, just some limbs behind her, messed up the tracks. Even tied one behind her little mutt, and yipped at her and said, "That seems to be a good thing to do." So they did it. They hit the stream and they went up the stream. It was September, so it was a bit cool, but she had a nice jacket on and a very nice big backpack to shove it in if she needed to, or hatch it on, as she would say. She followed that stream for a while, made sure her brows were sweeping behind her, and kept going up farther into the mountains past the normal forest that she had played in from 7 to 12. Now she was going higher. It was getting harder. She saw the odd goat. Hello, goat. Seems to be, doing a thing or two. And then she had a interesting idea. She had an old, well, excuse me while I pause. Uh, well, I'm back. There's going to be a bit of a jig in here, but there we are. Some nice people talking about Jesus somewhat. We'll leave it there. I find it interesting that came up when I'm telling these, yeah, slivers and threads. But anyway, um, they climbed, found a plateau, more trees, walked through that. The branches, some of them were ancient, heavy. There was some energy here, presence, sacredness, God. Yes, definitely. Up a bit farther, she heard hounds. Huh? They're looking for me. That means my parents aren't anymore. That's unfortunate. But they protected me as much as they could. And now it's up to God. She looked at her little mongrel and, yep. Okay, Doc, that's your word of everything. And she finally broke through that bunch of trees and she heard a chopper, so she stopped. She just asked God to cloak her, protect her, her and her mutt. And the chopper hovered for a few minutes, looked around, and then went off in another direction. Oh, yeah, she goes. I remember now. I took that old shirt that my mom gave me that ain't no good no more, but it has my scent all over it because I slept in it forever. And I tied it to that goat. Oh, they're gonna have fun with that goat. I don't know where that goat's going, but I got a feeling God's gonna have fun with that goat. And she goes, well, a little bit higher. And they go a little bit higher. And they hit another plateau, and there's a really dense, old pines. The smell is just pine and uh, sulfur. And she's really tired, but it's just a little farther, well, according to. It just feels a little farther. So she goes a little bit more and she finds a small clearing, not very big. And in the center is what you would call a one-room cabin. Looks well looked after. There's even a fire in it, but the smoke isn't going up, it's going sideways somewhere else. She don't know where, but it's disappearing. And she's tired. And she's been raised on goat milk, so she's going to be fine for the milk part. Just have to catch one of those little bears. It won't be that hard, she says to herself. Hopefully. Who knows? But she does. She goes through the door and she finds, well, one room cabin. There's a little chair and a table, two chairs. Okay, well, may have visitors. Who knows? Not expecting any, but hiding out is what we do. So we're going to stay here. This is life for as long as I don't know. And that was the beginning of her new life. And her family had taught her to uh, hunt and skin and look after meat and grow veggies and shed seeds. And And there were window pots everywhere, some big, some small, some big enough for taters, some small enough for wild lettuce. All worked, all inside. Nobody could see outside. Didn't look like anyone lived there. All good. She found her great-great-grandfather's diaries and read them. They were interesting. More threads, more shards, more pieces, more bits. Talked about if you needed a bath, there was like a hot spring kind of underneath the. Well, I would explain why they would always see this as a hot place. That works. And I can't tell it's occupied or not occupied. Can't even find it, probably. She's muttering to herself, and the dog looks up and goes, "Yip." She goes, "That's all you ever do is yip. I've never heard you really bark. You just go yip." Yeah. She goes, "Well, yeah, a bath would be nice." And she lifts that thing and she looks down and it's steaming and hot. Ooh, it's good. He says off in the far corner is a cold cellar. And in the middle of that is a stream that runs through the mountain underneath it. And it keeps everything cold. So she goes over and looks and goes, "Brr, yeah, that's definitely a cold cellar." She goes, "I'm interested in this." And she strips off her clothes and dives in. Yip, as she always called him. Yips, and jumps in too, wobbles around. She takes the homemade soaps, which she had learned to make from her parents, and uses them to clean up. Yep, gets a bit of a bath, and he's kind of happy, kind of not, but feels better. She goes, "Well, yep, it's you and me, or maybe someone else, maybe at some point, but not now. Gotta get those seeds planted, keep the heat up. That means going to get more wood, because that wood ain't won't going to last us long, and there's a storm coming." Yeah. Yep. Looked up at her and went, "Well, yep." So she found the axe. That was her grandfather's axe, but it was in good condition, which is odd. This is his threads and shards and pieces and things. And she's figuring out some things. Oh, God is good all the time. God is good. She's got that one figured out. She's protected up here, and she's sorry about her parents. That's a little bit of a teary time. But she knows that they were there for that cycle and they were helping her. And somehow it all feels as it was meant to be. It does leave her in a space where, she's wondering about the next while. And she finishes her bath and finds a bucket in the corner, bigger bucket than usual, and realizes it's like a tub. Well, there's my washing spot. And so she throws her clothes in there and takes some out of the pack. She didn't have many, but she gets herself dressed. She takes her pack upstairs and unloads the food stuff into the cupboards. Well, there's only two, but they hang on the wall nice. And I get things out of the way. The bed looks very comfy and very, very, very inviting. She banks the stove really well for the rest because sun is going down. There is no hydro, no power, no nothing. Although parents talked about an old system somewhere, but she hasn't found it yet. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe more of somebody's diaries. That's not just grandfather's, as many people have stayed here. Yes, she'll be one. And so that began many days of getting wood, hunting only for what she required. There was a messed up deer. had got away from the walls, but it was dying. And she gave it a sacred death. It wanted to go, so it had come to her and didn't want to keep suffering, couldn't be saved. It was meat for the winter that was coming. It would be enough for her. And if somebody showed up periodically, probably enough for them too. She didn't know how this was going to go, but she thanked God for it. She thanked the animal. She took the animal down quietly, without pain, and then literally skinned and took everything that she could. The rest she took to the edge of the forest and gave it back to the animals that would come and find it. So she had a good skin. It had a couple of tears in places where the wolves had got at it, but it was a decent skin. It was going to be used for something. She didn't know what yet. She had a feeling that since she didn't really do anything outside, except for this, and the snow was already falling, so it would disappear quickly, that she would have to dry the skin somehow down by the heat, maybe. She didn't know, but she knew how. So she would go looking for a stretcher, and that would be sorted out. She cut up the meat. She took it to the cold and wrapped it in the skins that were there for that purpose and set it in the water. They were completely sealed. So it's amazing what she had learned from 7 to 12. She was eating, it was there, but she was also crying for her parents. They'd been her parents. She didn't know about what had happened before 7, but that she knew. And she knew they were gone. She felt them go. They're now at the gates and up with God. Why all these people came, who they were, doesn't matter. They were still looking. She could hear the choppers periodically, but they seemed far away. Not close to where she was. Probably chasing that goat. I'll eventually catch it. Yeah. Poor goat. And at that moment, she heard a cowbell. Was that a cowbell? Really? Cowbell. Hmm. She went over to the trees and there was a cow there. He was, cow looked confused. Oops, I got lost. Yeah, real lost by the looks of it. There was a milking cow. So she was like, well, I just thought I was drinking goat's milk. I like that. I like cow milk. It doesn't matter. God is providing. Are you like the ram in the thicket? Have you become my cow? Moo. Well, I guess that's an answer. Can't have you out in the open, so we'll build you a brow house to keep you out of the snow. Moo. Okay. So she gets to work and she builds a brow house, gets it to a place where it will stand up to the snow and it's a place where the cow can go and get warm. It keeps the wind away. Mm. Everything else, the cow doesn't really mind too much. And she makes sure it gets some water and some feed somehow. I don't know how, but cow has been provided. The feed will be provided. Yeah, somehow. So she's laughing to herself when she calls him cow, of course, moo. Uh, yeah. And Moo seems to be happy in his new brow home. It took her all day. She's exhausted. Yip has been following her around. Every once in a while he goes, Yip. But the cow is happy in the brow home. It's sturdy. Just a whole bunch of browse that keep most of the rain out. Yeah, they'll get some water, but cows are used to rain. They'll be fine. And she's looking at all of this and she's going, well, this is life for now. And she would live there many years with cow, and yet nothing else happening. But for now, she's figuring it out. She would later on tell a story to someone who would tell the story to me that she still lives there. She just comes down from the mountain periodically. She knows when to get some supplies and sell some skins and disappears again before anyone can find her. That's her life right now, she said. But she said she has learned a lot about her life and about who she is. And well, they're shards and threads, aren't they? So I may tell you more about her maybe another Thursday when I actually get here. But got to get on to that school stuff. So let's have a blessing. A blessing of joy and peace and wonder, because those are beautiful things. And the magnificent nature of God answering in ways that we may not understand the answers in. And everything that brush wishes to paint for you, whatever that is, according to Father's will and wish, according to your will and wish, it can be. So let's have a prayer. We come before you, Father, Spirit, Son, and wow, interesting story, kind of. A little bit of detail, a little bit of what is going on in this person's life. We may revisit it and add some more paint to the picture. We'll see. This is my Thursday, just kind of wherever you lead, I will follow. Kind of a relaxing day. We're here doing our thing. So, if it's the 100th time or if it's the first time, lead them closer to you, O Father, Spirit and Son. It's the first, no, teach them about John 3:16, the Roman road, what James said about if you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth, then you are saved. Not rocket science. It's just a relationship. That's all you're really looking for. And if it's 100th time, take them deeper, much deeper. Because when they believe in you, in their heart, when they really accept the gift that you gave on that cross and rising from the grave and going to be our high priest, yeah, to be with us, to heal us, to help us, well, everything changes as we know. So, in these threads, in these shards, in these things of life that we can't quite figure out, let's leave them with you. And we ask for courage and strength and grace and mercy as we go when we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, standing in awe and honor, respect, allowing all glory to flow to Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. So when you rest well, when you rest, rest well. When you wake, wake well. And know that your path is well lit by God. Blessings.